Welcome to this video where we'll discuss Forza Horizon 6. Because actually, we already have some information coming in a little earlier than expected. Yesterday, the game was officially announced at the Tokyo Game Show conference. There was Matt Booty, who is one of the top executives at Xbox, who said that we would have more news next year. Well, he lied, because actually we already have news and honestly that's great. After the Forza Horizon 6 trailer dropped, an interview with a developer appeared on the official Xbox.com site, also with the Forza Horizon 6 art director. This interview shares plenty of interesting details, and most importantly, good news about the open world in Forza Horizon 6, with quite a few details about the map, about why Japan, or something else. So today, I'm sharing all these little extra pieces of information with you. If you've seen any others, feel free to put them in the comments. Also, don't hesitate to ask your questions about the game in the comments. Some parts of the game may be updated by developers later. If there are frequently asked questions on your end, I'll answer those first, depending on what they are. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos, because of course, as soon as there is any news about Forza Horizon 6, I'll share it with you in a video. Well, first of all, the first thing to share with you, and this might be the first bit of bad news about Forza Horizon 6, but after that, you'll see, it's all positive. It's the fact that on day 1, so really the day the game is released, Forza Horizon 6 will launch on PC and Xbox Series X and S, but not initially on PlayStation 5. We know it will come to PlayStation 5 one day, that's already confirmed, but we know that, as a result, there will be a more or less long delay, which hasn't been specified yet, between the official release of the game on Microsoft platforms and on Sony's console. We hope this delay is still shorter than the gap between Horizon 5's release on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. The last delay was 3 years, so this one should be shorter. Forza Horizon 6 won't launch on Xbox One, unlike Forza Horizon 5, which released on both generations. This will be on the current generation only, not the previous one, which is actually good news for the game's development. This removes some Xbox One restrictions, which was less powerful than the Xbox Series X, potentially allowing for a more advanced game. Maybe even more beautiful, maybe with better smoothness, and probably also with even more details. Several new details about the map have been confirmed. For instance, this one is quite obvious. The large mountain shown in the game's presentation is clearly Mount Fuji, which is interesting, even if not widely known. That would still be really cool. The fact is that right next to Mount Fuji there's actually an official racetrack, the Fuji Speedway. We know that now, in Forza Horizon games, the developers like to add some official circuits to the base map. They really have, let's say, a racing spirit, with racing decorations, grandstands, and so on. It would be cool if Forza Horizon 6 was based on the Fuji circuit. It would be amazing not to take advantage of it, since Japan is so diverse and our map will reflect that variety. There are mountains and forests. There are also smaller villages, like fishing villages, and areas with lakes and mountains. What we know about this Forza Horizon is that, like the other Forza Horizon games, you shouldn't expect a faithful recreation. Another one, as is the case, for example, with Test Drive, Solar Crown, of an area of the map or an entire country, but rather a map that will probably be more than 150 kilometers, which will be a best-of selection from Japan. There's likely a mountain, forest, small lake, and a fishing village nearby, which is actually pretty nice. It's confirmed. Forza Horizon 6 will feature the largest city in Forza Horizon history. Developers recreated Tokyo for Forza Horizon 6. That's still impressive since it was highly requested. Since Forza Horizon 4, we've seen cities start to disappear. That's true. The last big city in the history of Forza Horizon was Forza Horizon 3 with Surfer Paradise, which still wasn't that big. Since Horizon 4 players have wanted a big modern city with tall buildings and parking lots, well, here it is. It's confirmed that the developers have modified Tokyo. So, as I was saying, you shouldn't expect a 1-to-1 scale modified Tokyo. That's impossible for a game like Forza Horizon, but we can hope for a modern city with neon lights and skyscrapers. And above all, a city even bigger than Surfer Paradise from Forza Horizon 3, by the way, if we look ahead a little. So, these aren't confirmed details at all, but let's just say it would still be really cool. It would be great to see that again, and in my opinion, that's what will happen. A section of the Shuto Expressway. Around Tokyo, it's the most legendary highway known to all car enthusiasts. In the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, it was the main meeting spot for drivers who wanted to race on open roads. Forza games always have big highways where you can drive cars over 400 km/h. There's still a good chance that this famous highway network will be strongly inspired by the one in Tokyo. And by the way, we could even say that since Forza has always had a bit of a certain spirit. Illegal racing, previously known as street races in Forza 1 to 5, refers to races in the game's career mode, but those aren't actually part of the Horizon Festival. It would be great to connect the famous Forza Horizon street races with the club. One game midnight with a story revealing some history. It'd be even cooler without an easy mode. You must drive as fast as possible on the Tokyo highway, getting as close as you can to civilian cars. So the very large city of Tokyo is confirmed, and what's also confirmed according to the developers is that it will still be the case. The Forza Horizon map likely has the most road levels possible. We have areas with an underground tunnel, the city above it, and then another layer on top. For example, with an elevated highway, we expect a very winding map. The game developers insisted on this point, and moreover, they also insisted on the following point, which is that the developers actually used the experience they had gained when designing the Hot Wheels downloadable content for Forza Horizon 5 with many elevated roads. We also applied experience from creating the Rally Adventures downloadable content, where in fact, it was almost only winding roads. So when we said back then that the developers were using the DLCs to test the waters a little bit, for future games in the series, we were right. The season system will return in Forza Horizon 6. I'm not referring to selection seasons, the festival, or monthly updates. Even though that, in my opinion, will also be back because it worked really well in Horizon 4 and it also worked really well in Horizon 5. Here, we're really talking about the seasons: winter, autumn, summer, spring. This system will be back, and we know that the developers will make sure that the differences between each season are more pronounced than in Forza Horizon 5. Horizon 5 didn't change much, but this time will be different. We already know that we'll have snow in winter, and that's really nice. Just imagine a snowstorm in Tokyo would be wild, but the devs want to push further and change the atmosphere. The map varies by season, such as winter or rainy season. Since the weather makes you less likely to go out, we might have a map that's a bit calmer, with fewer civilians, fewer pedestrians, or fewer cars. And in summer or spring, more activities and a world that looks more lively. Regarding atmosphere, we know the developers, especially Xbox, want to avoid caricature. We'll see how it turns out. We know the developers collaborated with Japanese creators and consultants to portray local culture. With respect, we know this Forza Horizon will focus on Japanese cars. From the trailer, you can tell by the background engine sound that it's a well-tuned Japanese car, like a Toyota Supra. For example, we can hope for more Japanese cars, customization, and specialties, like K cars, which are small and very compact. We're almost certain to get it, since we just saw the famous Forza Horizon 6 announcement trailer a few weeks ago. There were garages, especially one in particular, where the owner explained that the developers had come to his place to do modeling. Several K-car models, we already had some in Forza Horizon 5. And actually, even back then, we were already thinking that it was a clue that the next Forza would take place in Japan. So now, we can expect to have a little bit more. Expect a focus on Japanese cars. In a few months, the game's cover will likely be revealed. With the famous hero car, it would be cool if it was a Japanese car. Let me know in the comments which vehicle you think it could be, knowing that, in general, the criteria for a good hero car is that it's a really recent car, meaning it came out in the last few weeks. A supercar, and especially a car that really makes you dream. And it's true that when you take a step back, you realize there really aren't any Japanese supercars anymore. The last well-known one was the GTR, but it no longer exists. And especially, it's been out for a few years now, maybe the replacement for the Lexus LFA. That would be pretty cool, but we'll see. Anyway, there you go. The developers will focus on diverse Japanese cars, with an emphasis on drifting. This Forza Horizon remains true to the series, but could introduce major changes. This is the first Forza Horizon not mainly developed by the original core team, unlike previous games in the series. What do I mean by that? Well, it's that a few months after the release of Forza Horizon 5, quite a few top executives from Playground Games, the studio that develops Forza Horizon, left. Who left because they no longer agreed with Forza Horizon's direction. By the way, most of them left to create their own video game studio, which is now developing their own big racing game. We know Forza Horizon 6 will likely be a renewal within its continuity. That means Forza Horizon will keep the formula that has worked for years. But since it's not really the same people coming up with this concept and making it, we might see more differences between this one and 5 than there were between 5 and 4, or even between 4 and 3. Several updates are, in my opinion, good news. With the first game info out, there's still a chance we might have to wait a little bit for what's next. Because, as the developers mentioned in this interview, more content will be revealed about the game, early 2026. So, well, at least in 3 months minimum. I personally hope we'll get a real trailer because, honestly, this Forza Horizon 6 trailer, even though it's a minute long, it really doesn't show anything. Unlike other trailers that showcased various map areas and cars driving, this one shows nothing. So I hope we'll get a new trailer soon. A real trailer, maybe a bit of gameplay, that would be pretty nice. In any case, what's certain is that I'll obviously keep you updated on news related to Forza Horizon 6. So, feel free to follow, and don't hesitate to subscribe if you want to support the channel. I'll see you tomorrow for the next video, maybe with some news, you never know. But, well, I don't think so, we'll see in a few weeks. Anyway, there you go. I'll see you tomorrow for the next video on the channel. Thank you for watching this one. Bye.